Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Nickel City Mafia post-game and therapy session. Yeah, we need a therapy session tonight. I'm Mike Thornton. Joining me, as always, is Jake Podger. Jake, how you doing tonight, man? I know it was a rough night for you and a rough day, but how you doing tonight?
Very rough day, Mike. I think I went through the 5 stages of grief twice: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then finally acceptance. And I did it again, and now I'm finally at acceptance again. So hopefully it stays this way. The Sabres won tonight, so I feel a little bit better.
Yep.
But it's been tough. It's been tough. I'll admit it. It's been tough. I'm not really used to losing right now, so it's
Right.
different.
So we got to get some things off our chest for sure. We got some gripes. We got some things to talk about. And in the end, the point of this, we even talked about this. We potentially weren't going to have a post-game show. But we did say if we lose, we're going to need to get on and just have a therapy session and kind of talk through it. But we'll go through all that, and then we'll talk about the positives. There's a lot of positives, and we'll get everybody back calm and get them comfortable. It's tough losing and waiting 2 weeks to play another game. That makes it extremely difficult. But we'll talk about all that in a second. And I'm going to let you go first because, Jake, I'm a little older. I've been through 4 Super Bowl losses, and let me tell you, I was that guy. 4 Super Bowl losses. The first 2 crushed me. I don't know if I took a few days off from work after that or what, but I will tell you by the 4th Super Bowl, I was like, oh my God, okay, yeah, it hurts. It's a game. I just got to move on. But anyhow, before we get into all the details here, and we already got people jumping in the channel, man, Antonio and Big L, I would want to hear your experience there in Tennessee. You guys went to Nashville. Oh my God, I would love to hear, because they kind of kept it secret from us as far as, what was the split of Bills fans to Tennessee fans? For whatever reason, on Monday Night Football, even though all the news was saying that there was a 58%, for Bills fans, and there was going to be more Bills fans than Tennessee fans, they weren't talking about that at all. They weren't really showing much in the stands, and if they did, they kind of focused on a Tennessee fan. But we'll hear about that in a second, so I put that out there for them. And anyhow, a couple admin things, and then we'll get right into it. First of all, if you're new to the channel or if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. Give us a like, share this out to everybody. We appreciate your support, and this just allows us to keep doing these type of shows. Also, I want to remind you that we have an amazing giveaway going on right now. It is for a Josh Allen autographed helmet giveaway, who had a fantastic game again last night. Just fell, a foot and a half short. All right, half a yard. Fantastic giveaway. The details, all you got to do is click in the description. There's a link. Get entered. All it takes is a kind act of service to get entered, and there you will unlock a bunch of other ways to get entries. We've had over 300 people now that have entered this contest. It's been amazing to see all the great stuff that people are doing. And so that's it. I need to get over to the show here. But anyhow, make sure you get into this. We got about 12 days to go, and we want to finish in a big way. So let's get back to it. All right, Jake. Ooh, let's see here. Antonio's saying, before I throw it over to you, Antonio's saying, I need some therapeutic help. And it felt like it was 60-40 in our favor. But let me say, Tennessee fans, loud as. Loud as. Woo! I got to bleep that one out. But yes. And then Big Al agrees with that one. So Jake, all right, man, come on. I need you to vent. Let's get it off your chest. Talk to me about what's been eating you since that game last night.
Just the fashion that we lost, Mike. But the best part is, really, if you're a football fan in general, that game was fantastic. It had everything you could have wanted, right? Primetime game, you're on the edge of your seat. It's a close game. Like, it's back and forth. How many lead changes? 7 lead changes? Like,
Yeah.
it's everything you want in a football game, but it's not what we expected. And you warned me about it maybe being a trap game, because you said this happened to you week 1 with the Steelers.
Yep.
I got to be honest, Mike. I wasn't hearing it. I was totally set on the Bills absolutely blowing out Tennessee. I even said, maybe they'd score a garbage time touchdown to get to 20 points. Like they were almost at 20 points at half. It was what, 20-17 at the half.
Hmm.
So, just not even close to how I expected it to go. And I think that hurt me even more because I was so confident. And I texted you a full lineup of stats. I texted
Yeah, you
everyone I
did.
think I know an entire lineup of stats. I said 41-20 Bills. I was so confident in that. I even went as far as to say, hey, if this doesn't happen, I'm going to walk in traffic on the 90 because this is how serious this game is. Like, I know for a fact the Bills are getting this win. So it was very disappointing for me. I think after the game, my two buddies were here watching it with me, and they got up and they just patted me on the shoulder, and I was just staring straight ahead. Like, you would have thought we lost the Super Bowl. And I don't even know how you went through that because it's a regular season game, and I gotta kind of bring myself back down to earth. The Bills really probably needed this game.
Hmm.
They needed a game to, test them a little bit, to have them respond to a different type of adversity, not so much where maybe we're not playing as well, but we're still winning by a lot, but an actual game where we're, back and forth like we were. And it was a really good football game. It was an entertaining game to watch. And um, it was interesting because it almost, the defense was kind of the problem
Hmm.
yesterday. It wasn't necessarily the offense. So just a lot of things to unpack. Like I said, I think I went through all 5 stages of grief today twice, over and over again. And yeah, it was a long day. But I think, and my buddy at work actually kind of brought me back down to earth too. And he said, listen, man, you're acting like a bandwagon Bills fan, one of those people who gets upset and just wants to forget about everything. And, you're acting like you can never lose a football game. Like that's not how it is. Like even the Patriots, like when the Patriots would lose a game, they pick things up, move on to the next game. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how good teams move forward and get through stuff like this. So when I thought about it that way, I'm like, you know what? We're going into a bye week. We're 4-2. We're still doing great. We're in great position. I mean, the next 3 games after the bye week, I think are sure wins, and I'm going to be cautious when I say that. But we were also 4-2 going into the bye week last year. So I'm feeling better. I've accepted what happened, and I'm ready. I'm ready to talk it out in therapy like we are right now. I think this
Hmm.
is good for me. Finally bringing some closure. And like I said, it's not the end of the world. It's a regular season football game, and I still think the Bills are the better team. But we almost beat ourselves more than the Titans beat us. I think they definitely out physicaled us, and they beat us obviously in the run game and just kind of wearing down our defense. But we're a better football team, hands down. And I really think even the people that were talking about it today on TV shows and whatnot, they were still saying like Buffalo's definitely the better team. And I think they all knew that. But hats off to the Titans because they played hard. I said they were going to play hard, but I didn't think they'd actually end up with the win.
Yeah, Vrabel. I mean, he just one thing about Vrabel. I mean, he's a great coach. He had that team well prepared, but the expressions that that guy has on the sideline. I mean,
Oh,
you
it's
you
crazy.
would think he's about to just. I mean, I don't say die, but I mean his expressions are funny
Yeah.
when things weren't going well for him. But Jake, even though I've been through 4 Super Bowl losses. Don't get me wrong, it stings. And my little boy was right there to console me last night. He's like, Dad, do we need to go get some, junk food? Because I told him, this is what I did in the Pittsburgh game. I said, dude, we lost the game. It was early, for us, it was early afternoon. It was like 1
Real
o'clock when the
early.
game
Yeah.
ends. I was like, when we lose games, let's go get some candy. Let's get a bunch of junk food and we'll eat it
Love it.
off. And then so last night it's pretty late here, still like 8:39. He's like, Dad,
Yeah.
do you want to go get some ice cream down at Cold Stone? Will it make you feel better? He
Nice.
was wanting me to feel better. So thank you,
Oh, that's
thank
nice.
you, Jonah, for that. Let's go back to the channel here a little bit, and I'm going to add to some things you said. So let's see here. Big Al, they need to use their running backs for short yardage instead of Josh Allen every time for short yardage. I can't argue against that. I'll give you my opinion here shortly on that play. And Antonio, any therapeutic help? Yeah, we already said that one. Let's see, what else did we miss here? Best game I've ever watched in person. Man, I mean, Antonio, how many football games have you seen Buffalo play in person? Be interested to know. I know you're in Atlanta, so you had to travel a little bit there to get to that game, and I'd be curious how many times you've been to see Bills games in person. But super glad you were there, man. And where did you sit? Where did you sit? Big L said he sat in section 315 in the wings.
They were up there.
Yeah, were they?
They sent me some pictures. It was cool though, because you can kind of see the whole city in the backdrop.
Yeah,
So while I mean, they were way up in the nosebleeds, but kind of cool at the same time because you can see everything, you know?
yeah, yeah. And then yeah, Antonio, where did you let me know where you said he's? Oh, I don't remember the section, but it was right behind one of the end zones. I wish I could have posted pictures on here. Well,
Wow.
Antonio, you see the Nickel City Mafia email right there. Send us those pictures and we'll put them up next game. Next time we do a pre. Actually, we're gonna do a show this Sunday. We have a bye this week, but we're gonna do a show and we'll show some of those pictures. So feel free to send them over if you can. So Jake, I know there's more you want to get off your chest. Do you want to continue talking, or you want me to kind of go through my points that I have?
Talk about your points first, and
All
I'll
right,
gather my thoughts.
all right, all right. So my issue started before kickoff when I heard that Epinesa and Boogie Basham were inactive for this game. Now I get it; they want the big bodies out there, but I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Boogie's not a small guy. What I liked about Boogie is that he's been looking pretty good the last two games. He's a bigger body, but he's athletic and he's young. And I just felt
Yeah.
he could have brought something more to the game than these other big bodies who weren't. I mean, we'll talk about it. They did a decent job when you look at the big picture. But Epinesa, I talked in the pregame show that the Titans had given up the most sacks of any team in the season, averaging 4 sacks given up per game. Now, I know that most of that came in the Arizona game and the Jets game, but still, I totally expected us to take advantage of those tackles. And Epinesa, I believe, would have been a key piece of that. And we didn't. We didn't get one sack. Not one sack, Jake. We had two quarterback
Brutal.
hits, and it was rough. I mean, it was just rough, and it hurt us. I mean, this is the area that we said we were better in. I still believe we are, but I don't know. To me, we didn't show it last night. Now I get it late in the game. It was a different story. It was just simple play action. With what Henry was doing, it made the game easier for Tannehill. Play action pass, nice little dump over the middle, first down.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Um.
Story of the game for them offensively.
Yep. And then I said I was talking about our third down defense. I feel we had some key third down plays that we, if we just had stopped them late in the fourth quarter, it would have been nice. I really had a problem with the refs last night, not for the plays they were calling, not for the penalties they were calling, but for how long they were taking to actually make the call.
Yeah.
I mean, my
Yep.
goodness, I'm sitting there, and they were talking about it on the game as well. I mean, some of these were just vanilla penalties, and what's taking you a minute to make the call? Frustrating.
Right.
It just was throwing off momentum, in my opinion. I mean, I was just like, what is going on? But it seemed to just go on the whole game like that. Many, many times they had the huddle to make simple calls, which I don't know. I don't know if you picked up on that as well.
I
Um,
did, yeah, and it was it was frustrating. You've seen this across the league all year with the refs taking their good old time just to make a simple call like that. Even the ref up in the booth was John Perry. He was talking about it, and he's like, "Yeah, this is." You could even sense the frustration in his voice. So
yeah,
you know that there's an issue when one of your own is even feeling like that. You know, it's crazy.
right. And I don't have too much of an issue with this next point, but I would love to hear what the channel thinks. I don't know if you noticed, every kickoff was short and to the right.
Hmm.
Every kickoff. I don't know if Tyler's bass, his leg was hurting last night. I don't know if they saw something in film. I'd love to hear what your thoughts were. My only issue with that is it leaves the potential, especially late in the game, and they had a decent return to the 35
Yeah.
yard line and in a very important point in the game. So it leaves the possibility for something like that to happen, as well as injuries. So I get it, maybe to some degree do that if you saw something on film. You have any thoughts on that, Jake? I mean, every kick was exactly the same.
It was definitely done on purpose. I don't think Tyler Bass is, shorting any kickoff. I mean, he still looked phenomenal. He made that 52-yarder last night
Hmm.
effortlessly. So, No, I think that was definitely done on purpose. And actually, Batson went down with an injury. That was fun fact about him too. They talked about it. Pat Mahomes' roommate in college. So that was kind of cool. They
Hmm.
brought that up. But yeah, thoughts and prayers to him because it looked like a pretty bad knee injury. Almost looked like a dislocation actually.
Oh,
So hopefully he's okay. But yeah, then they finally did get that one big return out to the 35-yard line. So it almost came back to bite us,
yeah.
And then and actually, while we're on that topic, they tried to run another Music City Miracle on
Oh
us. Like, come
man.
on.
It was, I'll tell you what though, like they said, if they had thrown it properly,
Yeah,
they had it set up.
they probably would have scored.
But man, gosh, what a slap in the face if that would have worked.
I know.
Right? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. So glad that it didn't. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, Aaron C says, take the lumps now, learn from them, setting y'all up for a better postseason. Absolutely. I'd rather lose now, learn, and get better as the season goes on. And
So that is my guy
yeah.
who consoled me today at
All
work.
right.
That's my buddy Aaron, who actually, fun fact, Mike, he played uh, tight end for UB football back in the day with Khalil Mack and others. So he was a pretty damn good athlete himself. Actually, him and Gronk were number one in New York State for the two top tight ends at the time. So
Really?
pretty cool. Yeah. So he's
Wow.
got some good stories. He was at a couple camps, like a couple national camps, and he threw with Tyrod Taylor a few times at those camps, and he's got some really fun stories. But yeah, he was talking to me a little bit today. So believe it or not, he's actually a Pats fan.
Okay.
So he is not a Bills fan. And you know what? I guess I understand to a certain extent why, because he sees, how emotional Bills fans get. And sometimes it's a little ridiculous
Yeah.
and too over the top where you kind of just dump the team and think, oh, one loss, it's the end of, you know, the end of the Bills forever. It's like, it's a regular season loss. And I think he was trying to tell me that, like, hey, you're turning into one of those people. I don't want you to be one of those people. Now, there is a difference, though, because you can be emotional about a loss, but you got to recognize how good of a team we still have. So I think that's the key. And yeah, so I told him I'd give him a little shout out on the show. So I'm glad he joined for a
Yeah,
little bit there.
Aaron, very much appreciate you joining the show, being that you're a Pats fan. So super happy you helped Jake through this a little bit.
He did.
Love to hear some of those stories. I'm actually coming out to Buffalo here at the end of the month, so it'd be great to hear some of those stories if we get opportunities. So he lives in Buffalo, I take it, right?
He does, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, awesome.
Yeah, he works. Actually, I don't know if he'll be at that tailgate or not. It is Halloween. It's a big holiday for him. He goes all out with his house, so
Okay,
he might
gotcha.
be prepping that day.
Yeah, and then my dad jumping in there saying, "Sorry, my preseason forecast on this game came true." Yeah, you were bound to hit. You were bound to hit one, Dad. I mean, you had been wrong on a few, but honestly, Jake, I had us at 4-2 as well at this point in the season. My predictions early on one of the earlier shows that I did, I had us at 4-2. They just got to it differently. I had us losing to the Chiefs. I had us beating Tennessee. It was vice versa. It was flipped. So. I'm not so surprised where we are, and I think we're still in a lot better position, and we look a lot better than we did last year at 4-2. It just feels that way. Couple other things that I have notes on: AJ Brown second half. Why didn't we make adjustments? He goes off for 7 receptions, 91 yards. We pretty much shut the guy down. I get it. It was the play action pass, making that a little bit easier. Offensive pass protection. 3 sacks, QB hit that forces Josh to throw that pick deep in our end. They go on and get a touchdown off of that. Turnover, that was huge. I just feel it comes down to your dad he touched on the running backs. There's just no respect for our running game, no matter what. I know we were trying to keep them honest, but no defensive teams going to respect our run game right now. So they're just going to tee off, and they were definitely getting some good pressure. And our offensive line was, again, I think Spencer Brown, he's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. I think he was the one who was beat on that quarterback hit that caused the interception, right? If I'm correct.
That's right.
Yeah. So he's gonna learn. But again, the offensive line is still struggling. Now, when they went to when they were keeping the tight end in the backfield and the running back for protection, that's the best protection they had. I think I
love that formation.
Right, that formation,
awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was working really well, and I think they're going to have to use more of that until we can get some resemblance of a run game going and have teams respecting it. But Singletary looked a little better last night than Moss did on the ground. Actually, Singletary averaged over 5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
So why we didn't go with a hot hand, I don't know. We seem to want to keep it 50-50 once again. I do know that, Moss made a nice catch. He seems to be the better receiver as of right now. Let's see, red zone efficiency. I think someone talked about it. I think your dad might have mentioned it earlier. I mean, those first 2 drives, we're in the red zone. We score 1 touchdown, or both of those touchdowns. Make both of those touchdowns. It's a different game. It's a completely different game. And then lastly, as far as from the negative side, I love what Josh did last night. I thought Josh had a fantastic game. And I know a lot of people, I was seeing a lot of critics saying, he was missing Sanders in the end zone. Well, he was rolling left. That's a tough,
Right.
to be able to see that is tough, and to be able to make that throw.
Yeah.
And then I guess there was a Beasley play as well. But look, Josh did what he needed to do. To have the opportunity to win, that's all we can ask for a quarterback. My only gripe was I was okay with going. I wanted them to go for it on 4th down. I'm actually all good with that. I know there was a lot of debate whether they should have kicked the field goal or they should have. Excuse me 1 second, as my nose is running. So hold on a second.
You're good, Mike. I'm with you on that. I think it was the right move to go for it. So I'll let you finish it off here.
I'm back. Yeah. So I'm all good with that. I was good with them staying in shotgun, because initially they were in shotgun, right? And then Allen moved up to the line. I don't know if it was after the penalty or after the timeout, but they're in shotgun. I was okay with that too, because that gives Josh more options, right? Either throw it, run it. He can see the field better, and he excels in that formation. But I was okay with the quarterback sneak. I just can't get over the fact that a guy 237 pounds behind some big offensive linemen can't push for it. I feel like he didn't have his feet in proper position. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You're more of an X and O guy, Jake, so I'll go to you for this one. I just feel like as athletic as that guy is, and the play that he made right before, where he just shot up like a rocket out of a cannon, almost got that first down, like the hurdle last week. I mean, either just push forward or go over the top. Use your athleticism. Maybe they might need to watch some film. I hate to say this on Brady. He's the most successful quarterback sneak guy there is, and he's got like a 91% success rate on quarterback sneaks. So, Jake, I'm gonna ask you this because you're more of an X and O guy, right? When they make that call to Josh, when they send down the call, Josh, it's you, quarterback sneak. Do they call it like go left, go middle, go right, over the top, or do they just say, Josh, do what you need to do, whatever you feel comfortable with?
Yeah, a lot of that is on the quarterback. You kind of want to just get yourself behind your lineman, get right on his butt, and just follow him and, get through. Just get that first down, whatever it takes. So I think what happened yesterday was John Feliciano and Deion Dawkins got blown up on that play. I mean, they got thrown. So I think that almost made Josh a little hesitant. So that's why he kind of like backed up, and then he lost his footing and he just slipped. And obviously he tried to put the ball forward and whatnot, but it wasn't enough. And I think that was part of the issue. So I think he was actually trying to go left, but they got blown up so bad. So I think he saw something, and he's going to follow Feliciano through and get and 9 times out of 10, Mike, he gets that first down. I mean, it's
absolutely
really 10 times out of 10, a lot with him. I mean, he's been pretty successful with it. And yeah, obviously Tom Brady, Tom Terrific, is the best at doing it. So maybe you should watch a little more film on that. But I don't think it's totally obviously, it's a mistake. He slipped up, and it hurts. It stings, but it was just sloppy execution. And he slipped up, and that was it.
I'm not putting it all on him. Absolutely not. Obviously, your offensive line has it's like, guys, let's just man up. We got a half a yard. Right, half a yard, foot and a half. Yeah. Let's go.
Yep.
But I that hesitation again, I just felt like when I see Brady do this, I mean, he's got that ball and he's moving forward. There's no hesitation. So interesting. That was really it. I felt Josh played a fantastic game. He did everything he could to put us in position to win that game, and we scored 31 points. You score 31 points for most games, you should win.
Should be enough to win the game, especially with how our defense has been playing. Right. But they had a tough day yesterday.
I've got a lot of positive things to get people back to feeling good about this team, but before I do that, I want to ask you as well what other things you saw. I want to make sure you're just getting it all out there, and then we'll
Yeah.
move on to some good stuff.
All right, I like it. So first off, another shout out to Aaron there. He said this is hilarious. Keep it simple, stupid. TB12 has it mastered. My 4-year-old son is more athletic, which he's probably right on that,
Exact. I mean,
which is
it's crazy.
hilarious. Yeah. And then, oh, I like this actually. Here's my brother-in-law Zach coming in saying he was hoping it'd be like a jump pass, like a Tebow jump pass where you fake this. That would have been cool. And I'll tell you what, going back to Tommy Sweeney. So he mentioned
Yeah.
Tommy Sweeney and that rollout throw that
Yeah.
Josh had to Tommy Sweeney in the back of the end zone.
Yep.
That was an incredible throw. I watched that in slow-mo today. I mean, that was an incredible throw. You could see that was major growth with accuracy right there. For him to roll out like that and throw that was such a small window. I don't know. You got to go back and rewatch that one, Mike, because that was
Oh no.
fantastic.
Oh no. I mean, I didn't rewatch it, but they showed it on replay, and I was like, that's
Yeah.
an amazing throw. That had to
Yeah.
be perfect. The coverage was pretty decent on that play, and there was actually a defender, I believe, right in front, so he put that
Yep.
right where it had to be.
It
Yeah,
was
it was incredible.
perfect.
Yep,
Yeah, it's
I agree.
everything you want. Yep. So I guess I'll just start. I'm gonna start with the Titans first. So I'll go over some of the things with them. I was kind of taking notes and whatnot, so I wouldn't lose my train of thought. So first off, we talked about the middle of the field. It was wide open on play action passes, and I think that obviously was due to us respecting the run. One of the main goals coming into this game, and it was it was made pretty obvious, was that we would need to stop Derrick Henry, which really, outside of that 76-yard touchdown run and that 20-yard run, we kind of did, if you think about it. So outside of those two big plays, he had 18 carries for 47 yards.
Yeah,
So, I mean, yes, he scored touchdowns. Yes, obviously once he gets going, I've never seen a man of that size run so fast. Like, that shouldn't even be allowed. That's illegal. He's speeding in a school zone. It's unbelievable that a man that big can move that fast.
yeah.
Um, Outside of those two big plays, I think we actually did a pretty good job of taking care of him. But I do also want to say that's what makes him the back that he is. I mean, once that guy gets going, it's like, good luck. Kudos to Micah Hyde, my guy Micah Hyde, which I decided to wear his jersey again. I know we lost. I'm gonna, still support my guy.
Absolutely.
He got in the way and he had to make that tackle on that 20-yard run. He did get ran over, and I'm sure he's going to be feeling pretty sore today from that. But good job by him of getting in the way to make that tackle. That 76-yard run, there were a couple of controversial things about that. So first off, if you go back and you look at it, it did look like there was a holding on Jordan Poyer on that.
I saw that.
But even so, it was going to be a big gain no matter what. But maybe it wasn't going to be a touchdown, So there was that. In addition, I think you do have to consider Derrick Henry for MVP this year. I really do. I think he needs to be in that consideration just
Wow.
because consistency, he finds a way to score touchdowns. He is their entire offense, really. I mean, the reason why A.J. Brown was able to get 7 for 91 in the second half is because they had so much respect on stopping the run. So it opened the middle of the field. I mean, it was wide open every time,
Yeah.
I mean, Levi Wallace didn't really help either with that, but I think that was a huge key to them, winning the second half too. But Derrick Henry's unbelievable. I mean, that was just, like I said, I'm actually happy with the fact that outside of those two big plays, we did hold him to 18 for 47, but those are really the difference makers. My guy Harold Landry, absolute dog, criminally underrated. He had 2
Yes.
sacks yesterday. I mean, he gave Deion Dawkins one hell of a time. And man, I both of our tackles really struggled to defend both of those guys. Bud Dupree, actually, he came up big with a pass
Yeah.
deflection. So
Yeah. And that's the first time I had him back in a while.
yeah, it was. Yeah, he was coming off an injury. And that entire defensive line for the Titans really had a really good game. Danico Autry played really well. Jeffrey Simmons had a sack. I mean, that was a really impressive performance by them as a whole. So kudos to that defensive line. I think they actually outplayed the Bills defensive line, who I didn't think they played that bad either. But they obviously didn't get it done. They didn't get any sacks. So there is that. And then I think that was pretty much all I had to say, mainly on the Titans. So going to the Bills here with Isaiah McKenzie on the kickoff return, you want to talk about just an absolute soul crusher. I mean, You almost just knew that there was going to be a flag
Yeah.
somewhere. You always see it on punt returns, kickoff returns. Whenever there's a touchdown, you're always just thinking, "Oh, well, there's going to be a flag here." Don't get too excited because you know it's going to happen. And of course, it happens twice to the same guy, Andre Smith. On the one punt return, he had a nice punt return, gets flagged for a blindside block on that, and then on the kickoff return, he got flagged for holding, which I don't know about that. It's up in the air on that one, but you could see where maybe you can call a holding penalty there. So that one killed. That was an absolute killer because obviously that's the game-winning touchdown right there. So 2 enormous special teams penalties, which really hurt. One thing I'm going to say too, Josh Allen, we talked about how good of a game he played, Mike, and I agree with you. I think he is an elite pocket passer. I think it's safe to say that. If you give that guy any time in the pocket, he's gonna make those throws. He's gonna throw the ball all over you. I think he did a fantastic job with that. Now, on the flip side of that, when he was flushed outside of the pocket, it's like a 50-50 ball because he's going to either throw an unbelievable, spectacular throw that no one else can make because of his arm strength, and he's going to get it to that receiver and probably, throw a touchdown or something. Or it's going to be thrown into the dirt or an interception or a game-costing fumble or something because I think he gets too excited. We talked about this before. His eyes get so wide, and it's almost like he like freezes or something, and he just says, "You know what? I'm just going to chuck it up." It's like a modern-day Brett Favre, like a 2020 version of Brett Favre. He's just going to toss a ball up in the air. I mean, he threw the one in triple coverage, which was almost picked off. Thank God. I think Jack Rabbit Jenkins, Janoris Jenkins.
I love the
How
name.
many times they say Dad?
I love the Jack
I
Rabbit
love it.
Jenkins.
I knew it was his nickname, but they really were pushing that nickname yesterday.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't for him falling on his teammate, it would have been an interception there. It would have been pretty much game over. But so there's that type of throw. And then there's the type of throw, which obviously Cole Beasley wide open in the end zone, but he makes that throw and it looked amazing,
Yeah.
So I think that's an area where, and it's tough when you're scrambling outside of the pocket like that, to make a throw, to make a pinpoint accurate throw is very tough to do. It's exciting, obviously, as a fan watching because you just don't know what's going to happen, and you might have a heart attack midway through the play because you think, "Oh no, here we go again." He's got to get a little bit better with that because there's going to be times where he needs to get outside of the pocket and make a throw, and you can't always run the football either. I mean, the guy's just reckless sometimes, and it's awesome. I love seeing the hurdles. I love seeing him go over the top of people. Like, he's a freak athlete, but you can't have a long-lasting career if you're going to continue to do that. I mean, that's a quarterback I want to play for and stuff, and I think that's great, but you got to sometimes almost limit that. So you got to still be able to make the throws when you're flushed outside of the pocket. So that was one area that I could maybe critique on him. But otherwise, I thought he played a fantastic game of football. I mean, his numbers were great. He threw for 353 yards, 35 for 47 on the day, so nice completion percentage there. The one interception, I don't really fault him for at all. I mean, that was just a deflected, he was throwing and it got deflected at the line. So, and then my guy, Kevin Byard with the interception too, man, both those guys came up big, Harold Landry and Kevin Byard.
I think he got hit on that throw too, Jake.
He did. Yeah, he did. So he did get hit. Yep.
Definitely.
Yep. So I don't really put a ton of blame on him for that, but I thought he was fantastic yesterday. And, I stand behind that guy. I think he's clearly the, one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league still. So I don't have a problem with, I guess I'll take the crazy throws every once in a while because obviously it keeps it entertaining, keeps you on edge. Our offensive line, I mean, we're talking about that hit and that forced interception. I think both tackles really struggled yesterday. Spencer Brown, obviously, he did look like a rookie. I have a lot of faith in him. I think, we can clean that up. He can get it taken care of. I think he'll be okay. I mean, he's a 3rd-round pick. He was naturally a tight end, and they converted him to tackle. So he's a very lean guy, very tall guy, and he'll figure it out. He'll be all right. And then Deion Dawkins, he struggled a bit too. I mean, Harold Landry gave him hell yesterday. So a little concerning there. But again, that was really the first poor game that our offensive line had in a couple of weeks. Just with penalties and just actually there wasn't that many penalties, but just with protection in general, it wasn't great. So Josh was definitely feeling the pressure. Okay. Now on to the defensive line. I have so many notes in here,
Oh,
Mike.
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Uh,
Can I make can
the
I make
D-line,
can I make a little note though on your
yeah,
Josh comment?
sure.
So he obviously when he goes to the right, I feel like he makes a lot of plays. He's made a lot of plays this year,
Yeah.
and I feel like he didn't run enough last night, to be honest, and that could have been just the defensive scheme. But I feel like he kind of held back a little bit on the running. But he made the play to Beasley. The week before that, he made that great throw to um, tight end. Help me out there.
Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox, who we should talk about. I guess he broke a bone in his hand, but they expect him back. Hopefully, and thankfully
It's
we
like a
have
shot
we
put
have the
throw
bye
that
week.
he had on
Yeah,
the
but
conversion.
I think when he, we'll talk about that. I'm sorry, but when he threw that ball, I feel like the bone was already broken because you could see something was going on with him on that 2 point conversion play. But anyhow, get to the defensive line. Talk to me.
Yeah, so the D line too. I mean, I thought they actually played a pretty good game. I mean, they didn't have anything to show for it because they didn't get any sacks. But Jerry Hughes, we were talking about him. He wasn't really making too much of an impact coming into this game. You didn't hear his name a ton, but he had that one pass deflection. He had a couple pressures. I thought he played a pretty good game yesterday. And even Mario Addison too. He had a couple of nice pressures too. He did get stiff armed by Derrick Henry in the backfield.
Yeah,
So
he's the new
again,
Josh Norman this year, right?
I know.
He's gonna be the poster. Frida, thanks for
Gosh.
joining. Frida's a coworker of mine, so thanks for joining the
Oh,
channel,
nice.
Frida. I appreciate you
Nice.
out there.
Yeah, actually,
Jake, I have to disagree with you. I have to disagree. I'm still disappointed with Hughes's performance. I don't know. I mean, get your hands on the quarterback. Get your hands. He
yeah.
did have one. I think he did. I think he had one quarterback hit. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I'm not seeing it from him. I know you obviously are a Jerry Hughes fan, and I was. I just keep saying, time to let those younger guys get more snaps. I'm not. I'm just not. I'm just not seeing enough. I don't know. That's just my opinion, Jake.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's definitely fair. And obviously, it does make sense to get the younger guys in. You want to see Greg Rousseau, live up to his draft potential as well. And he was even a little quiet yesterday.
He
I mean, he
was.
had
He
the one
was.
pressure, and yeah, it was tough. I don't know if we would have been better off with Epinesa and Boogie Basham in the game or not, but Fa Obata didn't really do much either. Now, I will say, interior wise, I thought Starr, still had a
Yeah.
decent game, and Harrison Phillips actually nice to see him out there, and Justin Zimmer too. I think both of those guys, obviously high effort guys, so good to see them getting involved a little bit. Eddie Oliver, he made an impact. I think statistically not so much, but I think you could still tell that he was out there and he was playing hard. But yeah, I guess I didn't think they played tremendously bad, and even in the first half, I think our defense was playing pretty damn well. I mean, really, the one touchdown, it was just a matter of them having really good field position with that interception. So
Yeah.
it's kind of tough to stop them in the red zone, how close they are there. But yeah, overall, I wasn't super disappointed in our play. Obviously, you want to see some sacks on the board, and you want to see us finish those plays. But our guy Jordan Poyer too, interception yesterday, which is great.
Yep.
So I think they did apply a lot of pressure, and it forced Ryan Tannehill to struggle quite a bit in the first half, especially. So then I want to talk about this too, because I think a lot of people have been harping on him this year, and we talked about it a little bit in our other shows. Tremaine Edmonds,
Okay. Yeah.
I thought he
I,
played a fantastic game yesterday, and a lot of people are still kind of harping on him a little bit. I think he played very physical football. He was pretty good in coverage, and outside of the one play where he kind of got sucked in, I don't think he played bad at all. I think he had a really good game, and you're seeing the improvement that you want to see out of the guy. I think he's actually gotten better really every game this season. So hats off to him. He had 10 tackles. He had 8 solo tackles. He had the 1 TFL yesterday. So I'm happy with Tremaine Edmonds. I like what he's done. So I wanted to put that out there too, because I've seen a lot of people that are just still saying, he's not worth don't pay the guy. He's
yeah.
not worth it. Like, let's move on to another one. I think he's a good football player. I really do like him, and I think he's made some improvements. So
Okay.
those are my thoughts with that. Yeah.
I was
And
curious.
then,
I was curious to hear what you were going to say about the linebacker,
yeah. Oh,
especially
yeah.
Edmonds.
Yeah. And Milano almost had an interception on the one play that he
Hmm.
had too. So it's good stuff. Or no, that was it Jerry Hughes? Jerry Hughes got in the way or something, and Matt Milano almost had a pick,
Yes.
I think.
I think it was
Yeah.
Hughes that
Yeah.
deflected it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was getting confused there. Yep. Yep. But Yeah, I mean, overall, it's there's a lot of positives to go off of here. Our big three receivers too. I mean, those guys all had big days. Cole Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders, and Stephon Diggs. They all had 80 or more yards. Emmanuel Sanders with 91. So he's a legitimate number two receiver. I like him a lot. He's really 1B, 1A, 1B, Stephon Diggs and Emmanuel Sanders. So love that. They both look great. Stephon Diggs, very physical too, man.
Yeah,
And they were talking about that a little bit. I think we could have put all of those guys could have easily had over 100 yards receiving, but I think we were a touch conservative with some of our play calls. I would have liked to see some more throws instead of maybe have the amount of runs
I
and
agree.
done some more
I was
throws.
getting a little
But
frustrated with the number of runs we were doing. I want to take a look at what Aaron says out there. Why don't you touch on that?
yeah. So let's go back. So first off, what do we have here? Um, he runs so upright, great back, but I feel there are a few more talented backs in the league currently. Oh, he's talking about Derrick Henry there.
Yeah,
More design rollouts for Josh. I totally agree with that. That'll help get his confidence up outside of the pocket. I mean, we saw the throw to Tommy Sweeney, like we were saying.
yeah.
Absolutely agree with that. Love it. And then the chip on the shoulder defensive player, I think it's equally important on the offensive line. Incognito was a great example defensively. Ed Reed, Legion of Boom type of guys. Yeah, you want guys with attitude, 100%. I think Spencer Brown actually is that
I was
guy
going to say
on our
that.
offensive line.
I was going to say that.
You know,
Being a rookie and he's got that chip on his shoulder already. So I love that in
yeah,
him. And
it's great.
he'll just get better. I mean, these are the type of games he needs to be in and learn. I mean, he's a rookie. Yeah, he gave up that one big, got beat on that one play, but overall he's been doing pretty damn good. And I do
Yeah,
think he's that guy, that one guy with the chip on the shoulder.
absolutely. Yeah. And then let's see. My dad, the Titans fans at the game were yelling, "No way Josh was going to hurdle any of their players." Well, it basically happened again.
Yeah.
And I have a problem with that actually, going back to the refs, Mike. So what should have happened on that play? So they signaled a first down on the field. And then the sky judge says, "No, it's fourth down, move the ball back." What should have really happened was a measurement should have happened. So they should have at least measured where the ball was. What, regardless of if it was a first down or fourth down, even if it was still fourth down, it actually could have been better for our offense to kind of regroup instead of having to hurry back to the line because the clock was ticking at that point too. Obviously, there was a little stoppage because they were trying to figure out where to put the ball, but I think they should have definitely at least measured there. So I do kind of have a problem with that, but it's a little detail. But you never know; it could have been a difference maker.
Yeah. Yeah. On that slip, I did want to ask people that were at the game. I mean, the field was in good shape. I feel like during the timeout, maybe Titans came out with some Vaseline or something. I don't know. Can someone let me know
Yeah.
if there was anything funny going on? Like, well, nobody slips the whole game, and then on the biggest play of the game, we have a slip there.
Yep.
But yeah, so I have to agree with pretty much everything you said. I mean, what you want to talk about? I know you didn't get to the cornerback yet, and I know you're gonna beat up Levi a little bit. You kind of mentioned him a little bit, but you know what, Jake, he wasn't the guy watching AJ Brown all the time. There was some Taron Johnson in there. There were some safeties in there at times. I mean, go ahead. I'll let you. I know you haven't gotten there yet, so give me your thoughts on the.
I mean, really, it wasn't all his fault. I think there's a lot to do with all that. We were obviously respecting the run quite a bit, and I think our corners were aware of that too. So they ran a lot of crossing patterns and the play action. I mean, we got fooled on a lot of that. So
yeah,
it wasn't all his fault. And it was interesting because we didn't have Trey White lined up, on Julio or lined up specifically on AJ Brown. It was all kind of where they were on the field at the time. So I think Trey kind of tends to stay on the right side of the field, it looked like, and then Levi was on the left side of the field if you're playing defense looking that way. So yeah, it was definitely interesting for sure. How about that catch by Julio too? That was a crazy catch.
I mean, what you think of the play though? I mean, Micah Hyde was on the defender, and he was, facing Julio.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't you supposed to turn around at least?
You got to turn around.
They were going to call that all day, so I was a little surprised to see Micah make that mistake. But yeah,
I think he knew he got beat, so he's like, well, better to get a pass interference instead of a deep touchdown.
I do. Now that you just mentioned Julio, I want to ask your opinion. So late in the game, they seem to be pulling Julio out, and I know there was one series or at least one play that Tannehill was having difficulty getting him in the position that he wanted him in. And maybe it's because he's new to the team. He's been out the last 2-3 weeks, but such a huge player taken out for a few key series. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, no, you could tell he was banged up. I think it was his hammy. He re-aggravated it again because he was limping a little bit. You could even see um, just out on the field. So I think there was something to definitely do with that. And yeah, he was out on a lot of big plays. So it was definitely interesting to see. So
Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
know if it
he's
was
probably
injury
banged up.
related or, like I said, maybe there was some confusion with him in the play calling. I don't know. I felt it was play calling, but maybe you're right. Maybe it was injury.
Yeah, yeah, it was interesting for sure. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully, he plays this week now because I got him on my fantasy team on my one league at least. So man.
Is that your mom out there? I thought they should have measured too,
Oh,
Jake.
yeah. Yep, yep.
Mrs.
Actually, they
Podger.
were
Oh,
texting me a little bit, just
yeah.
like they were losing their minds. I feel bad for people that were actually there because, as a Bills fan to travel all the way down there and for them not to come out with a victory, that's tough, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have any other thoughts on the safeties? How did you feel they did?
I thought the safeties played well. Like I said, Micah Hyde, fearless, just a fearless guy. He had the one, play with Julio, obviously, and Jordan Poyer had the nice interception. I think he actually drew a few penalties too. So I just I still think that we have the best safety tandem in the league. That's not
I
changing at all. And those
totally
guys
agree.
deserve all the credit in the world for
I'm,
sure.
I'm laughing at this statement from your dad. I think the Titans defensive line was sweating so
Nice.
much that he slipped in a puddle. He slipped on something,
That's
something
hilarious.
happened. That is funny.
Yep.
Thanks for
I
sharing.
agree.
So let me kind of let's bring it back here, Jake. There's a lot of positive things. We got it all out, right? We got it all out there. But overall, we're 4-2. And let me give you a lot of the positive takes that I have, okay? And then I know you have some as well. So yes, you're absolutely right. You touched on it. Derrick Henry, other than those two, the 76-yarder and the 19-yard run, we kept him under 3 yards a carry.
Yeah.
I mean, think of it. I think of it like Michael Jordan and Kobe, or Shaq. They're gonna get their numbers. Yes, we had kept Derrick Henry under 100 yards for 3 years consecutively, and they've been talking about that all week. That was a. I think he even said it in the post game that his coach was,
Yeah.
giving him a little bit of edging there, saying, "Hey, man, this team's kept you under 100. What are you going to do?" And I mean, the guys, they showed his workout. They really focused on Henry a lot, and I guess he deserved it last night, but they showed his workout. The guy is just an amazing athlete. So, other than those two plays, and again, he's the type of player, he's going to get those numbers. We shut him down pretty well. I thought we did a really fantastic job there. We're 4-2 after 6 games. These are my notes over here that I took all day. We're 4-2 after 6 games, just like we were last year. And we only went on to lose one more game last year, and that was to the Hail Murray, right, in
Yeah, that's
Arizona.
right.
We only went on to lose one more game, and our schedule favors us. We don't make the schedule. We're still going to have to take care of business, but we do have one of the lighter schedules going forward. We got the Bucks, and I don't want to disrespect the Patriots because all our divisional rivals always play us tough. So we're definitely gonna have to go out and take care of business. So I still think we're going to be a 13-4 team. I really do. I think we're better at this point than we were last year. We lost this game barely. We should have won it. We could have won it. It happens. It happens to the best of them. And you were mentioning, the good teams, they get better from games like this. They get better. And so we'll have a lot of lessons learned. Like I said, the young guys will learn some things as well, and we'll just get better. Better to lose now than in that AFC Championship game again. And let's see. We've added some nice talent on both sides of the ball. Like I said, they're only going to get better as the season goes on. Josh is amazing. I can't tell you enough just how good of a game. You've already mentioned it. We've got an elite quarterback. I agree with you. Top 3 for sure. Still young, only going to get better. The sky's the limit for this guy. So we're definitely gonna get back there. We're gonna get back to the playoffs, and you're gonna see the team learn from that game last night and just be that much better. Again, I see a 13-4, and I don't want to.
I like it.
I told you on our pregame. I don't want to. I predicted a big win against the Steelers. We can't overlook any team. Any team on any given Sunday can win. I don't care who you are. Look, the Jets beat Tennessee a couple
Yeah.
of weeks prior. I
Yep.
mean, they destroyed that offensive line. I think they had something like 7 sacks. You can't take anyone for granted on any given Sunday. So, and then let's see here. Yeah, we're healthy. Other than Knox, we're relatively healthy.
And they're not even concerned with that. I mean, they
I
think he's
know.
going to be just fine. So
I know. So
yeah.
I mean, going into week 6, you're usually your injury list is pretty full, but we're looking good, and we got a bye week to rest up even more. And then let's see here. I don't want to. Those are all my good things. So folks, we're in good shape. We're at the same position we were last year. We're a better team than we were last year. We have a lighter schedule than we did last year, and we're gonna have a true test. I mean, we're gonna get to play the man himself, Mr. Brady, down the road here, and another great test for us.
In December too. That's
Yeah.
that's getting to playoff time there, Mike.
Yeah.
So who do you think the 2 losses are going to be? You said we're going to go 13-4. You think we're going to split the series with the Patriots and probably lose to Tampa, or what?
Yeah, I had us losing to the Pats. I really did.
Okay. Yep.
They play us tough. They have a great, they have a very good defense. And then I had us losing to the Bucks. I gave the Bucks that one, but
I can agree with that.
right, and that was it. That was it. Again, can't take anyone for granted, but that's kind of who I saw losing there. Before I forget, I want to give our bonus code out. Jake and I get so wrapped up in our game, in our shows, we forget the bonus code for the giveaway. The bonus code is Josh 2018. Josh 2018, no spaces. Take that bonus code, put it into the giveaway, and you get 5 additional entries. So anyhow, let's get back here to the channel. Where do the Bills draft wise next year? So Aaron, I was actually one of the guys when I did my draft show. I felt we should have went after a running back. I really did. And I was during preseason, I'm like, all right, maybe I was seeing some promise there. Zach Moss is back, and he does appear to be the guy that has a slight edge over Singletary. I don't know. I'm a Singletary guy. So I think in the draft next year, I think we definitely got to go again. I'm thinking we have to go after running back. I mean, you can tell me if you disagree, Jake. And then Aaron also said, love the analogy, Mike. I think less attention on the run game with Tennessee may be the secret. Yeah. So Jake, what do you think about draft wise next year?
I would be good with the running back for sure. I could also see maybe corner, Mike, maybe a true number 2 corner. Although, I mean, Taron Johnson, maybe he can play outside. I don't know. I know he's basically more so played inside, but we locked them up for a big deal. But nickel corners, they're a big piece in the NFL nowadays. So I could see corner. I like Derek Stingley Jr. out of LSU. I think he's unbelievable. So that could be interesting. I don't know if he'll be available when we draft, unless we trade up. And then Michigan State, they got this running back who's an absolute stud. Kenneth Walker, I believe his name is. I want to say, yeah, Kenny Walker. He has put up insane numbers. Bijan Robinson out of Texas, that's another good running back. So there's a couple of backs right now, and even the kid from Michigan. I think he's only a sophomore. Blake Crum is his name. So there's a couple of backs to keep your eye on for sure. But I like the kid out of Michigan State the best personally, Kenneth Walker. I think he's unbelievable. So that could be a spot that we go. But I wouldn't mind another running back for sure. It doesn't seem like Zach Moss or Devin Singletary have really come out as a front runner, and we can keep both of those guys. Just add more to it. Why not?
Yes, I mean some of it's on the offensive line, but right now, Jake, no one's respecting the run game. We try to push it, we try to put it in there. No one's respecting it. And they're going to continue to do that because they have to try to defend our passing game, and if they focus on the run at all, they're going to get sliced and diced all day. So, and I was one of those guys. I was like, second round. I wish we would have taken a running back in the draft. I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually was saying we should have took Boogie first and taken someone else. I went back on that, and I'm super happy we took Rousseau. And I think Basham's got a great career with us as well. But yeah, focus on maybe running game or cornerback. And I think we can go after both, and maybe we can get something in the free agent market as well. In either of those areas. So, I mean, guys, there's a lot of good things. I want to make sure everyone feels good right now. We have 2 weeks before we play the Dolphins. I'm going to be in Buffalo. I want to meet as many of
Oh, it's going to be
I want to
amazing.
meet your parents. I want to meet the folks at the office. Aaron, I would love to hear some stories. I get in early Friday with my younger son. My wife and my older son don't come out till Sunday. I have my 3 children there in Buffalo, my older children that live there. And I'd love to go to dinner with you guys and just hear some of these stories. But
We're going to hit Barbell or what, Mike? What are we thinking?
Barbell, absolutely. That's on the
Love it.
list. But what other? I mean, Jake, make these folks feel better. I mean, I'm trying to do my best. I think I have. Throw some other things out there. This is a fantastic team, right? We're going places. So throw
We're
some.
a damn good team. They
we're
just released the power rankings on NFL.com too, and I think they still got the Bills at number 2. So I think everyone knows it. Everyone knows that we're a better football team. Everyone knows that we're a playoff team. We're not, it's not like we lost to. I mean, we still lost to a good football team.
Yeah.
It was the first team with a winning record that we played. Think about that.
Yep.
And they played physical. And like I said, I think it took me a second to realize this too, because I was emotional. I'll be honest with you. I was very emotional, and I'm not. Maybe I think everyone needed this. The fans needed this. The players needed this. The team needed this, because it kind of brings you back down to planet Earth. My fantasy team name in all my leagues, Mike, is Henny Given Sunday. A
Okay.
punt on any given Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's Chad Henne, who
Yeah.
I for whatever reason I latched onto him early in his playing career. He was a Dolphins quarterback, so shame on me for that. But now he's with the Chiefs. Actually, he actually won them that playoff game last year against the Browns because Pat Mahomes went out with an injury. But you can't take any game for granted, and I took it for granted myself. And my buddy Aaron, he was saying it's a trap game. He was saying it all week. It's a trap game, and I just didn't buy it. And you even said it yourself too. You said, don't get too cocky with this one, because you just don't know what's going to happen. But I don't think anyone thought that we were going to lose that game. I think people maybe thought it might be a little bit closer than a lot of projections out there. But the Titans are, they're not a bad football team. I think that was a huge win for them. With the Bills, we're going to take this one, learn from it, and yada, yada, yada. The old saying, however that goes. But I feel good about it. And I think the next 3 games, we're going to take full advantage of those teams, and we're going to start rolling. So we'll be back to our winning ways. And I think we got to just take this one and move forward.
Yeah, you're not the only one who thought this was, we're going to win. We're going to win the game and win convincingly. I give support to the other shows around Buffalo that talk about the Bills. And there were many guys just saying, or many folks just saying, I'm not so worried. I'm not too worried about this game. They were overlooking a little bit, kind of like they did with the Steeler game. And we just know you just can't overlook anybody. And they were coming off a huge win. We felt like, they had to keep the gas, the what do you want to call it, the foot on the gas.
Foot on the gas.
They just didn't quite get there. Again, we should have won. We could have won. We put ourselves in position to win. Unlike last year, it was a 42-16 whooping. No, we were in this game and we could have won it. So I'm super proud of the team. I think they're just going to get better. And like Aaron and other folks have said, you just learn, you move on, and we'll see you in the AFC playoffs. Absolutely, for sure.
Absolutely. The Titans played their best football game to date yesterday. The Bills played an okay football game, and we still lost by only a field goal.
Yeah. So I want to touch on your dad's comment there, and maybe you have some information. I don't have any information about the international running back Christian Wade. Do you have any info on him?
Not really. Honestly, I haven't heard a whole lot about that, but obviously he's a protected player right now. So I think we see the potential in that guy. I do want to see more chances given to him, because both carries he had in the preseason 2 years ago, what was it? I think he scored on both of them. So he's not bad. I mean, he could play.
They definitely
he's got a lot to learn. Mm-hmm. He's a rugby guy, so yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think maybe giving him an opportunity sometime in the future. I mean, right now, I don't see it happening, unfortunately. But, if we can keep him, develop him for another year, we'll see.
Yeah. So, Jake, any final thoughts? Again, I want to give the folks in the channel an opportunity to speak on anything. I want to make sure we all feel good. We should all feel good. This is a great team. We're only going to get better, and we are going to be in the playoffs. We're going to win our division for sure. sorry, no disrespect, Aaron. I hate saying these type of things when we have other fans in the channel
Yeah.
for other teams, but we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there. So chill out, enjoy 4-2. It's a good record, and there's only one team that has a better record than us, and that's the
Your son's Ravens.
The Ravens at 5-1.
Man.
Tennessee plays Kansas City this upcoming week. That's going to be a huge game, and we could see the Titans back to what 4-3.
I think the Chiefs do win. I think they go 4-3. Both of them will be 4-3.
We'll see. It's a I don't want to say a must game win. It's not a must game win for Kansas City, but they're at 3-3, and they go 3-4 when you have the Ravens at 5-1. I mean, watch out.
And let alone their own division, you got the Chargers and the Raiders, who are both 4-2. You know.
Yeah.
And the Broncos 3-3. They're playing Thursday night against the Browns, banged up Browns team too. So they have a chance to win that game.
Yeah. So we're good. Jake, you have any final thoughts? Anything else you want to share? It looks like the channel's good. I feel like everyone's feeling better, and we're ready to move on. We're ready to get past this game. Look at the positives that we talked about. Right? We're good.
It took me a while to get here, Mike. It took me all day. It took me a full work day, and I was still thinking about it at work.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. It's not the end of the world.
Yep.
We're a hell of a football team, and we're going to be just fine. We're going to be just fine. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. I'm not saying that because I'm pushing feelings down. I truly believe that. I really do.
Absolutely.
It's not the old Buffalo saying like, hey, we'll get them next time. And you just kind of say it with a wink and a smile. This is for real. Yeah. Our team is for real. We have a really good football team. We're circling the wagons. We're coming back with multiple victories in a row. I feel great about it. Go Bills, baby.
Yeah, so just a reminder, please subscribe to the channel. Again, give us a like, give us a comment. If you don't like it, sure, hit the button. I mean, you can hit the down thumb if you like. That it is what it is. I want you to be truthful with us, and we love comments, and we love you guys following the channel and all your support that you guys give us. Aaron says Chad Henne versus Anthony Morrow.
Yes.
You want to talk about that a little bit real quick?
Or Morelli. Yeah. The quarterback for Penn State. Yes. Biggest high school rival games of all time in Pennsylvania high school. Yeah, that is super cool, man. I freaking love that. You didn't tell me that story before. That's pretty awesome. Love it.
Hopefully Aaron's available the weekend I'm in. I know you said he does Halloween pretty big, but maybe Friday night, maybe Friday night or Saturday night we're still talking about. So just for everyone to know that since we do have a bye week, Jake and I are talking about doing a Sunday show. We're going to probably do the state of affairs in the AFC, pretenders, contenders, talk about that, go through each division and talk about all the teams. So we're going to be on this Sunday in some form or fashion. If you're into golf, we have a golf show that starts in another hour. We have two of the best guys that give you analytics on golf, talking DraftKings and betting. And then tomorrow we have our fantasy football show. So if you're into fantasy football, you want to check it out. I'm 6-0. I'm listening to these guys. I'm behind the scenes. I'm listening to them. I'm 6-0. I'm in a little trouble with the buys coming up, so I'm going to be definitely seeking their advice to help me through that. But again, I want to thank everyone in the channel. Jake, as always, thanks for getting on. I know it's a little late out there, and I appreciate you taking the time to help us with this. We needed this, right?
We all needed this.
Yep. All right, everyone. We'll see you soon. Let's see. Just make sure Jake gets to the gym in the morning. Come, Jake.
He's my workout buddy too. So
all right.
We might be doing lower body tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
All right. You promised to be there? You gonna be there, Jake?
I'm gonna try. I'll try to get there.
All right. There's something you gotta tell me a little more about that story there. I'm sure there is. All right, everyone. Have a great night. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.